Okay, so for this deep dive, we're looking at the NTI ST-IPUSBD-R-DH.
That's a mouthful.
It is, yeah. But I think if you're in the world of managing, high-performance remote workstations, this is probably a device you've at least heard of.
Absolutely. It hits on a really specific problem, right? You've got this powerful dual head machine, maybe for CAD or something.
Or medical imaging. Yeah.
Exactly. But for security or just noise reasons, you absolutely cannot have that physical tower at the desk.
And that's the classic KVM extender challenge.
Hmm.
How do you push all that signal without introducing a ton of, lag? It feels like this one tackles that head on.
It does. I mean, looking at the data sheets, it uses two CT6 or TESA-7 cables for the transmission.
Right, and that gets you out to what? About 472 feet?
472 feet, yeah. That's 144 meters in a direct point-to-point connection. But honestly, that's not even the most interesting part.
You're talking about adding a network switch into the mix.
Exactly. You add a managed gigabit switch in the middle.
And it just acts as a repeater, effectively.
Yeah.
Doubling the distance.
It doubles it. You get up to 944 feet. And that completely changes how you can architect a building. You're not just running a long cable, you're using the network that's already there.
But okay, let's talk bandwidth for a second. You're pushing two 1920 by 1200 signals.
WUXGA, yeah. It's a lot of data.
Over that kind of distance, I would normally expect to see some pretty nasty compression artifacts.
And that's the claim, right? NTI says it's basically lossless, HDTV 1080p, and that WUXGA resolution with no degradation. But the thing that really jumped out at me from the specs wasn't just the resolution.
The video wall support. I saw that too.
Yes, it can handle configurations from a simple 1x2 all the way up to a 4x4 grid.
And you can rotate the displays 180 or 270 degrees.
I mean, think about what that means. You don't need a separate, super expensive video wall processor anymore. The KVM extender is the processor.
That's a massive hardware saving.
Yeah.
But the feature that I think really changes the actual workflow is how it handles USB.
Oh, yeah. The two different operational modes.
Right. It supports up to 5 devices, which is pretty generous. But you've got this split.
You've got exclusive mode, which is what you'd expect. One remote unit, one computer, one-to-one. Super secure, good for admin work.
Standard stuff. But then there's this sharing mode.
And this is where it gets really interesting. It lets you have multiple remote stations controlling the same source computer.
Which sounds a little chaotic. Like, if 3 people are all trying to move the mouse, who wins?
It just takes the input from all of them. So instead of a team huddling around a single monitor, you can have engineers in 3 different offices all troubleshooting the same 3D model at once.
Okay, I see the use case there. It turns one powerful machine into a truly communal resource.
It does.
But there has to be a trade-off with all that network flexibility. And I think I found it in the audio specs.
The microphone.
Exactly. It has the 3.5 millimeter jacks for speakers and a mic, but the datasheet is very clear. The mic only works in a direct point-to-point connection.
Which is a super critical detail for anyone planning an install. If you use a network switch to get that crazy 900-foot range, or if you use that sharing mode,
You lose your mic input.
you lose it.
Yeah.
So no VoIP calls through the system, no dispatch radio integration if you're going through the network.
So it becomes purely a control and display device at that point.
Right. But it is incredibly compatible. I mean, the list is Windows, Mac, Linux, Solaris, and even FreeBSD. It's built to be a universal bridge.
So it really does a great job of separating the physical security of the server from the accessibility that the user needs on their desk.
It's the perfect bridge for that. And that brings me back to that sharing mode idea. I think it's more than just a feature.
How so?
Well, if you aren't just sharing a screen, but you're actually sharing physical control of the input devices across a whole building, does that machine even count as a personal computer anymore? Or has it become something else, like a piece of shared communal infrastructure, just like the network cabling itself?
That is a really interesting way to frame it. Something for everyone to chew on, for sure.